She was born into one of the most notorious families of the Renaissance, accused of murder, incest, and political manipulation. Yet behind the scandalous rumors lies the story of a woman who is far more than history's villain. This is the tale of Lucrezia Borgia, a duchess, a survivor, and a misunderstood icon of her time. Lucrezia Borgia's life reads like a Renaissance drama, full of power plays, arranged marriages, and whispered conspiracies. Daughter of Pope Alexander VI and sister to ruthless Cesare Borgia, Lucrezia was accused of poisoning rivals with a secret ring and even being involved in her brother's crimes. But did you know she helped govern the city of Ferrara and turned it into a vibrant center of art and culture? Or that she once ran a salon where poets and philosophers gathered, far from the shadow of Vatican intrigue. Despite the legends, Lucrezia was fluent in multiple languages, a skilled diplomat, and a patron of the arts. She endured political betrayals, personal tragedies, and constant public scrutiny. Yet she still emerged as a respected duchess in one of Italy's most influential courts. Lucrezia Borgia was born on the 18th of April, 1480, in Subiaco, Italy. Her father, Rodrigo Borgia, was a powerful cardinal who would soon become Pope Alexander VI, a position that would cast a long shadow over Lucrezia's life. As the illegitimate daughter of a pope, Lucrezia was both privileged and vulnerable. She received a thorough education, which was rare for a woman at that time. She studied Latin, Greek, music, and poetry, and preparing her not for a life of leisure, but for one of political maneuvering. At just 13 years old, Lucrezia was married off to Giovanni Forza, a powerful ally in the Borgia family. But alliance quickly shifted. When the Forzas were no longer useful, her father and brother orchestrated an annulment, claiming Giovanni was impotent, a charge that humiliated him and enraged his family. Giovanni retaliated by accusing the Borgias of incest, igniting one of the most salacious scandals of the era. These early events defined Lucrezia's reputation, but behind the scenes, she was often a pawn in the dangerous chess game of Renaissance politics. And yet, even in these early years, Lucrezia was learning how to navigate power. In 1498, shortly after the scandalous annulment of her first marriage, Lucrezia Borgia was once again a bride, this time to Alfonso of Aragon, the 17-year-old Duke of Basilicata, an illegitimate son of the King of Naples. This marriage was meant to cement a political alliance between the Borgia and Neapolitan royal families. At first, it seemed to be more than just politics. Some historians suggest Lucrezia and Alfonso may have actually fallen in love, a rare spark of personal happiness in her otherwise calculated life. They had a son together named Rodrigo, and for a brief moment, Lucrezia lived as a content young mother. But once again, politics intervened. When the alliance with Naples no longer suited Pope Alexander and Caesar, Alfonso became expendable. In July of 1500, Alfonso was attacked on the steps of St. Peter's Basilica, stabbed by unknown assailants, but he survived. Lucrezia nursed him back to health, but it didn't save him. Just weeks later, while recovering in bed, Alfonso was strangled to death in the Vatican, almost certainly on Caesar's orders. Lucrezia, devastated and powerless to stop it, was sent away soon after. Was she compliant, or simply trapped by the ambitions of her father and brother? To many observers, this was the moment Lucrezia Borgia became infamous. The image of her as a beautiful and dangerous femme fatale began to take shape, one that would follow her for centuries. but the truth may be more tragic than sinister. In 1502, just 2 years after the murder of Alfonso, Lucrezia entered into her third and final marriage, this time to Alfonso, Duke of Ferrara. The Este family was initially reluctant to accept her, tainted as she was by the Borgia name and swirling rumors of poison, incest, and assassination. But Lucrezia surprised everyone. Once in Ferrara, she reinvented herself. Far from the Vatican's shadow, she became a respected duchess, skillful political partner, and cultural patron. She supported poets, artists, and humanists. Her court became one of the most vibrant in Renaissance Italy, rivaling even Florence as an artistic influence. She also took on real responsibility, managing state affairs during her husband's military campaigns and even acting as regent in his absence. Despite personal tragedies, including the deaths of several of her children and long periods of illness, Lucrezia proved herself capable, diplomatic, and resilient. Interestingly, some of the most damning stories about her, from poison rings to incestuous affairs, began to fade during this time. Her actions spoke louder than those rumors. She was no longer just a pawn in the Borgia name. She had become a player in her own right. Lucrezia Borgia died on the 24th of June, 1519, at the age of 39, just shortly after giving birth to her 10th child. Her death was mourned not only by the people of Ferrara, but by some of her former critics. She was buried in the convent of Corpus Domini, where her tomb still lies, marked simply as Lucrezia, daughter of Pope Alexander VI. For centuries, Lucrezia's name was synonymous with corruption and seduction, a femme fatale, molded by the pens of Renaissance enemies and later dramatized in plays, novels, and films. But modern historians have slowly peeled back the myths to reveal a far more complex and human figure, a woman born into chaos, used by her family, but who found her own path in a world built to silence her. She was a survivor, a patron of the arts, and a capable duchess who outgrew her infamous origins. Her story is not just one of scandal, but resilience and reinvention.